talked about smart contracts and blockchain, AI, ML, real-time responsiveness, all of that are very nice terms. You actually see it happening, or should I dare say make it happen, right? I was hearing your story before the session. You talked about setting up a humongous center. I come from a small town, and you are doing it not in a metro, not in a small town either, but that makes me even more intrigued about your case. Tell us a little bit about how this is all happening in real world. How do you see the supply chain applications being built, reacted, modified in your system?
Thanks for that, Ajit. And
Please carry.
so yes, we are an Indian indigenous data center and a cloud company. We are doing our part. So now coming to the supply chain, right? Let's step back. To me, it's not a technical problem. It's a business problem globally. What are some of the major challenges with supply chains, right? We see that fairly often supply chains are broken because they are suboptimal. The solutions were localized. One end doesn't talk to the other, and hence optimization, it is not overall optimized. That is typically a problem with any supply chain. I mean, it has been decades. Supply chain is fairly a mature topic, and cloud is a far more advanced topic, right? We are trying to see here how cloud can be an enabler to helping supply chains, right? Cloud by itself is not something which will magically solve the problem. Supply chain has a number of problems, and I think we are bringing cloud as an enabler. Now, if you further break down the supply chain, what are some of the biggest components, right? You have supply-demand mapping. How do you balance your supply and demand? How do you deliver faster, right? The speed at which you can deliver, which means how can you reduce your throughput time in your supply chain? If your supply chain is global, crossing across continents, then it's even more complex. You have many laws. You have multiple inventory points. You create an inventory hub in Turkey, you create an inventory hub in China, you create an inventory hub in Singapore. You have a 3PL. You have multiple 3PLs, for example, managing your goods, delivering your goods. From all the way from raw material inventory to semi-finished goods inventory to finished goods inventory and delivering it on the dock. It's a very complex problem. And how can cloud help here, right? Because we talked about, I mentioned how suboptimal it is. This is where cloud can come in the form of, more specifically in the form of SaaS, to provide that integrated platform where you have that visibility end to end. When you have these supply-demand cycles, right, we have seen suddenly people going crazy and buying cars. Suddenly people going and buying, for example, when 5G comes in, maybe a new series of phones will come, and then suddenly you need to be able to predict those. What is the demand? What is the season? And how the supply is going to be, both from an end consumer standpoint, or if it's a B2B, from a B2B standpoint, right? So these are certain things, and this is where cloud comes in, which is very, very powerful to balance those, which gives you those tools to do predictability analysis, to do real-time analysis, to do real-time course corrections. How do I reduce inventory at a certain inventory point, and how do I reroute my shipments or inventory to a different inventory point? If there is a war in a certain place where one of your inventory hubs is, you can't deliver the products to that hub. How do I quickly make those changes, right? By rerouting it to a different inventory point in a different continent, for example. We faced it during COVID, right? There are one or two places through which goods were coming into India. It is extremely difficult situation. For example, we were ordering computer hardware, server hardware. It is extremely difficult to get these in and out. So this is where cloud can come in. It gives you that real-time visibility. It gives you that predictability analysis, and being able to be more agile to add. For example, I have a vendor-managed inventory, right? I have in one place, and if I need to add a new vendor, for example, to my VMI, you can do it in a matter of days versus a traditional architecture, for example. So these are certain things that cloud can enable, where it brings in efficiencies, it makes you go fast, it makes you do course corrections on demand, and then it will improve or reduce the throughput time by saving more cost. Not cost of the cloud. I'm talking about the cost of holding your goods for more than a certain period of time. There's a cost for holding that, right? The speed at which you deliver. You deliver, the less time your inventory is within your supply chain, the more millions of dollars you're going to save, especially if you're a big corporation. So these are certain things I think, so it's a business problem we have, where cloud is an enabler to solve this problem.